It's me. You see? So that's what happens. Have the wristband? Okay, thank you. Let's go. Go ahead. Okay, looks like we're in. Okay, let's check it out. The gentleman said he would show me the list. I'm invited by the French mission to an event about press freedom. Without any piece of paper, they tell me I have to leave. What's the basis? Because I said that Antonio Guterres is corrupt, should have disclosed on his financial forms his connection to a Chinese firm that's been prosecuted for bribery? Where is the piece of paper? Where's the list?
We'll provide it to you.
Okay, good. I'm waiting, because I've been waiting.
Okay, cannot come that quick.
Okay, great.
Give us some time.
Okay. For the record, I have an invitation. I've been invited to the event on press freedom. Pathetic. Yeah, emergency response. I have an invitation. I have a driver's license. I showed my driver's license. The guy said, he's going to show this list. I want to see the list. Really, the ticket's on my phone. It doesn't. You can rip up the piece of paper if you want. It's a total joke. Antonio Guterres has turned the UN into just a gulag of corruption. It's a joke. I'm waiting for the list. Let's take a few notes here. All right. So let's check it out. This famous list, where is it coming? The list is coming. Yeah, sure. That's for sure. If you want to go to this show, if you mention that Guterres should have put something on his financial form, he'll use Lieutenant Dobbins to tear your shirt and break your computer, and then have guys with no legal authority at all, no piece of paper, nothing. It's embarrassing. Now he's the tall guy with a shaved head is taking him a ticket. Waiting for the list. The event's on press freedom. The event's entitled Press Freedom. Digital journalism and press freedom. Yeah, it's a joke. This is Antonio Guterres' UN. I have a ticket for the event about press freedom. I was in line, I showed my driver's license, and then they pushed me out. Please. Invited by the French mission, the Lithuanian mission, and the Greek mission. These guys say I'm on a list, so I said, let me see the list. They said, we'll show it to you when you're outside. So now I'm waiting to see the list. Disgusting organization. I encourage you to tell anyone that you can that this is what it's gotten down to under Guterres. They push people into the street. It's a press freedom event. It's in ECOSOC. It's at 1:15. I waited 20 minutes on the line with my ticket. Well, now you've seen it. Now you've seen it all. It's not just in the shadow. It's a totally lawless organization. I was standing in line with my ticket and driver's license when some guy started pushing me from the back. I said, just show me a piece of paper. It's totally going to be fine. No piece of paper. Laughable. Then they brought out these guys, the ESU unit. Yeah, it's an emergency. It's an emergency of corruption. Antonio Guterres has created an emergency of corruption. He took money from a foundation in Portugal that tried to sell its oil company to China Energy Fund Committee. It's true. Convicted for UN bribery, waiting for sentencing. Will be sentenced March 25th. Maybe these guys are here for the press freedom event. Press freedom event. Oh. Let's check the time. Time check. We got here early enough. Oh, it's 1:33. Looks like we can't see the press freedom event. You know why? Because there is no press freedom at the UN. A total joke. Look. We have a guy in a raincoat with he's carrying in nibs. Yeah, it's great. Now, you can't film in there, so I don't have him on film saying, we'll show you the list. But where is the list? You know what? Even in North Korea, they show you a piece of paper. It's a joke. It should be really, it's an embarrassment. People are jumping the line because, why not? Are we going to see the rare exchange of cash? Could be. Bribes for Big Tony? These guys don't even have a ticket. They just got a sticker. Just jump over, whatever. It's the UN, man. Pay a little money. No problem. Uh-oh. These poor suckers waiting online, they don't know. Maybe they can search their social media to see if they've dared say that Antonio Guterres should have disclosed his financial connections to the China Energy Fund Committee. He should have. He has a form online that you can find that says it covers the year 2016. And it doesn't disclose that he was a paid board member of the Gulbenkian Foundation, which tried to sell its oil company to China Energy Fund Committee, which paid bribes in the UN to the PGA. Antonio Guterres is corrupt. But that in other places, people said that about Trump, and they still go to the White House. Only at the UN can one corrupt individual ban a journalist for life with no paper, no due process, no appeal, nothing. Use a publicly funded group of guards to push people in the street. Shameful. It's a total joke. Oh, this is an NGO guy. No comment for now. No comment. The UN, anything can be bought and sold. Conference rooms, meetings. I saw Francis Lorenzo on the street the other day. He pled guilty to paying bribes in the UN. Incredible. Incredible. A sinkhole of corruption. Well, we're waiting. They said, when you go outside, we'll show you the list. Where is the list? Maybe we'll just catch the line jumping. See, these guys have a pass, and they waited in line. Other people just cash on the barrel. $20 bill. Buy your way into the UN. Disgusting. I respect those guys. They waited in line with their pass. Little did they know. Just come to the top. Say the secret word. Big Tony. You're in. Tony Guterres is 10 times worse than Ban Ki-moon. Totally corrupt. Turned the UN into his plaything to conceal his own financial misdeeds. And then he wonders why they can't make peace anywhere. No one takes him seriously. They like the principles, and so he thinks that when he gets off a plane and people say, oh, I love SDGs, they think it means him. It's totally corrupt. Totally corrupt. They won't even answer how much money he spent on his trip to D.C. Yeah, how many people, how much money? Everyone else answers, not Big Tony. Maybe he's going to go to Lisbon. Drop of a hat. You're going to pay. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. This is that process that we did. We showed the ticket, showed her driver's license, got in line. Suddenly, the laying on of hands. Disgusting. Wait, are these guys for the free press event? Let's check it out. Where is the list? Now, some of these guys come from the Balkans. Maybe back in the war, they could do this kind of stuff. Having a fine time. The ESU guys, there are a lot of emergencies here. Most of the emergencies involve protecting Antonio Guterres' corrupt behavior. You can Google it. China Energy Fund Committee, Gulbenkian Foundation. Antonio Guterres should resign. He is corrupt, and he's censoring the press with guards with no paperwork. Okay, well, we're back. Let's check it out. We've been promised the list. We're going to keep waiting for the list. Here's the guy that was there. He's some kind of a supervisor. He's not wearing the general guard clothes nor the machine guns. So he knows all about it. Where's the list? He might have even have worked at one point. He might have even have worked at one point with NYPD. They hire these guys, but I guarantee you there's no way the New York Police Department could get away with this. They'd be sued so fast their head would spin. They wouldn't even try it. But the UN takes the deadwood, at least as to U.S. It's shocking. He heard the guy say. The guy pushed me from behind and said, "Come outside, sir, then we'll show you the list." So I'm waiting. Where's the list? How do people get on the list? Can Antonio Guterres put anyone he wants on the list? Anyone he doesn't like? Let's say he got a divorce. Could he put his wife on the list? Apparently he could. There's no review. He's a dictator. He's like Kim Jong-un, except you're paying him. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Antonio Guterres can put any enemies of his on a permanently banned list that's not shown to anyone. It's true. There's no notice, no hearing, no appeal, no disclosure. Just disgusting corruption. This is why the UN can't even solve problems, simple problems. Guyana, Venezuela, they couldn't solve. Now they sure can't solve Venezuela. But Guterres is partying in his public mansion. The foreign minister of Venezuela stayed in his mansion during the emergency meeting of the Security Council. So lazy, so corrupt, he couldn't even use his Mercedes to come to work when every mission in the United Nations came. He just wants a second term. Anything for $1. It's absolutely shocking. I was thrown out. I was waiting to go to an event about press freedom. I'm a journalist, and I was pushed out of the UN. I'm letting you know. I saw you had a P pass, so I'm saying that to you. Maybe I miss your sort of staff anyway. It's okay. But that's the organization that you work for. Just so you know. That's how they roll. That's how they roll. That's your paymaster, Antonio Guterres, totally corrupt. All right. Little public education. These NGOs, man, this definitely. Antonio Guterres says he's a feminist Secretary General. Of course, he stole the job from a woman. Everyone thought it would be a woman. But he wanted this free airfare so much that he took the job. Total fraud. Total fraud. Wait a second. These guys are going back. All right. They've gone to get the list. Apparently they know what's on the list without having the list, because they said they couldn't show the list because it's in the office. But I've been out here 10 minutes. Where's the list? This is the very, very, very professional United Nations. They'll say, "Oh well, we had to say it." No, I said it's very fine. I'll step to the side. Just show me a piece of paper. Very simple. Please don't use hands. Police don't do it. They don't just start pushing. See, they usually have a legal authority, though. There's a law that controls them and a court that oversees them. Here, there's nothing but Big Tony, the corrupto, can put anyone he wants on a list with no explanation, no hearing, and I've asked to see the list. I was invited to this event. Oh, he's got some more stanchions. The stanchions are rolling. Well, it looks like we're going to miss the press freedom event. This is the UN's great commitment to digital journalism. A bunch of journalists asleep in the briefing room who don't ask any questions at all. Big Tony's friends. Journalists who haven't written an article in the longest. This guy might have the list. I think we've got the list. Hang on a second. Let's have it. I think we've got the list. Here comes the list. Fabulous. Wait a second. Is this the list?
What's going on?
Thought that was the list. They said they were going to bring the list. These are some security officials. They've clearly got business out in the street, but where is the list by which they throw journalists out? What's in the envelope? Checks to Big Tony from the China Energy Fund Committee? Seriously, it's very simple. The moment you ask about Antonio Guterres' finances, suddenly you get beaten up and thrown in the street. Could be that we have the list. Could be that the list is coming. We're waiting for the list. Now, these gentlemen, when they laid on hands to take somebody out of the line and push them out, said that they'd be showing the list. So this could be the big moment. Some big officers, Tony's guards, Praetorian guards, went across the street with an envelope. Maybe they're finally bringing in this list. We're waiting. Let's see the list. And the basis of the list. Are they going to pick up the list? Here comes the list. Wait a second. Could be that the list is on the move. Diplomatic pass on the ground. They said that the list is in the office. They had to wait because the list is in the office. The gentleman with the brown coat, he was in the courthouse, SDNY. I'm going to be there later this afternoon because I'm a journalist. Only in this cesspool of corruption do they get to pick and choose and physically oust journalists whose articles they don't write. It's a joke. It's a total joke. Let's see. Maybe this guy has the list? Oh, could be. We've got an envelope. Is that the list? It's not the list. They promised this list. But many gentlemen have been coming out with envelopes, but it doesn't seem to include the list. No list. There's no list. Maybe Tony writes the list. Maybe he's the only one that has it, but then how do they know how to enforce it? How do you know when it's over? How do you know when you're on it? It's worse than the no-fly list. It's a Tony's enemy list, and it's not public.
So that's why
Well, people are still flowing in to the cesspool of corruption. Yes, it's true. Now, many of them are paying $20 a head. This is to pay for Antonio Guterres' travel to Lisbon. He's gone 17 times so far. There will be more. Now we know that he's been paid there by the Gulbenkian Foundation, undisclosed on his financial disclosure forms. Most places this would lead to impeachment, but in the UN it just leads to a doubling down of censorship and corruption. Yes, it's true. So this mysterious list, where is it? This event only runs through 2:30. Time check, 1:52. The event's still going on. Could still catch some of this great UN hypocrisy on press freedom. People from all over the world come. They have no idea that the place is run by a corrupt former Prime Minister of Portugal who took money from a foundation selling an oil company. He's an environmentalist, of course, but his Gulbenkian Foundation is entirely funded by an oil company. Strange. No end to hypocrisy. No end. Biometric, very important. See, most security forces on Earth are using biometric. The UN is just using brute force and a non-existent list. It's kind of, call it the Stone Age of policing. They've got the tablets. Okay, well, those guys don't have a pass, but it's all right. You see, as long as you bow down to Tony. See, there might be a statue now of Tony. I don't know. Banned 253 days for covering the UN budget and reporting what Antonio Guterres' own staff said, which is that he was silent on the genocide in Ambazonia so he could get a favor from Tomomonte and the Budget Committee, the most corrupt, the most greasy UN act ever. And for writing about it, physical violence and censorship. Shocking, really. Now this list was promised. Where's the list? Now people are just rolling in. Oh, no. We got the ID check over there. It's a very serious check. And if it doesn't pan out, you just grease the palm. Just say, this is for Tony. Are they going to catch the tail end of press freedom at the UN? Press freedom has already been killed off at the UN. Tony Guterres has turned it into a cesspool of corruption. Wait a second. We've got some serious diplomats. Some kind of diplomats? Students? No one can be quite sure. Are they ready to whip out cash for Big Tony? That's what it seems to take these days. That's what Patrick Ho did. That's all you got to do. Pay a little cash. He used the UN, Patrick Ho, soon to be sentenced. He used the UN to offer weapons to the president of Chad, Idris Deby. It's a joke. No, but let me just be very specific about what happened here. I was invited to an event. I picked up my ticket there. I got in line. I've tweeted a photo of the picture of the ticket. When I got here, I showed my driver's license. I went in, and as I waited in line, guards came over to me, said, "Get out," started pushing me. They said I'm on a list. I said, "Let me see the list." They said, "Well, we'll show you the list once you're outside." I'm outside. There's no list. Antonio Guterres is totally corrupt. And his enablers, including even the UN Special Rapporteurs who have purported to talk about him, are a joke. They're a total joke. Antonio Guterres is corrupt. As corrupt as any strongman censor that the UN criticizes. Totally corrupt. Now, we have some protest over there that we might go check out. But I'm still waiting for the list. See, this is the funny thing. They can't say. But even if you have a pass, they might push you out. Be aware. I had an invitation. Here comes the list. I believe the list is on the move. Do we have a piece of paper? We don't. Now, since they banned filming, somebody needs to work the line better and say, "Tony, give Big Tony the dollars. Big dollars. Dialing for dollars. Big Tony." Oh, look, wait. Well, you know, that's nice. You've seen it here. Yes, you've seen it here. He's going to take him right through the line, all the way through. All the way through. There's another a good fan of the party. I won't say anymore. Antonio Guterres has turned the UN into a joke of censorship. Let's recap. A UN official, Antonio Guterres' representative on disabilities, held press conferences that nobody attends. Purports to be for freedom. Well, Google it. We're going to go check out those protesters soon, although we really shouldn't. Here we go. Wait a second. Is the list coming? This guy might have brought the list. It's possible. Apparently he did not brought the list. No list. This guy might have the list. Wait a second. We were promised the list. Do we have a piece of paper? Any piece of paper? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Looks like it's a changing of the guards. Now, they said that the list was in the office. I don't know where the office is. Maybe the office is offshore. The office in the Cayman Islands where apparently Antonio Guterres' bank accounts are? I don't know. What could be so secretive that you need to beat up the investigative press and ban it without notice or due process? How corrupt can Antonio Guterres be? I don't know. It's hard to understand. Wait, is that the list? It could be. It's possible.
Some might be going on, but they're not usually there.
Where's the list? It's pretty shameful. Yeah, it's a total joke. Oh, wait a second. Look. We have a human rights official going in. Human Rights Watch. Tony Guterres. The only man who can put journalists on a secret list with no notice, no hearing, and no appeal. And Human Rights Watch says nothing. Because they love Big Tony. They love some Big Tony because access to the building allows them to launch their reports. Now, it's the organization that said that Cameroon wasn't a top 90 problem in 2018, but suddenly they're very concerned. But no critique of Antonio Guterres. No, none. Zero. They critiqued him for taking a family photo with Bashir, but he actually met with Bashir. He met with Bashir in Addis Ababa. All you had to do is Google it. But that's the subtle deal. The subtle deal is to maintain credibility by having a softball critique of Antonio Guterres while maintaining access and saying nothing about the most ludicrous, the most lack of due process censorship. In fact, the gentleman on camera once wrote secretly to the spokesman, Stéphane Dujarric, urging him to look into a matter and have a journalist thrown out. Then he claimed that the email was protected by copyright under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and had it removed from search. These seem like strange acts, but nothing competes with Antonio Guterres' non-public permanent banned list that he can put anyone on. And none of the groups that are his interlocutors on human rights will say a word about it. Because the money is too good. The subtle dance of fraudulent human rights advocacy continues. With Antonio Guterres, a man who never disclosed his links to the China Energy Fund Committee on his financial disclosure. This is journalism. This is something that Reuters should have reported but didn't. Go along to get along. And so it goes, jumping the line. Okay then, you've seen it. It's happened. Right here at the United Nations. The destruction of an organization. Big Tony's UN for sale. Everything must go sale. Continues. Only one person has been turned away. And it's a journalist who's dared write about Antonio Guterres' corruption. Or even to ask questions about it. Initially it was just a question. Was it an oversight? Why don't you refile your form listing Gulbenkian in 2016 since you took money, which he did. Several thousands of euros a month. You could say that's not much. But people have been impeached and gone to jail for far less. But Antonio Guterres has his own guards. This is akin to his own, well, people say sometimes there's too much hyperbole. There's no hyperbole needed. I came with an invitation from the French, Greek, and Lithuanian missions to a freedom of the press event. I showed my driver's license here. I was in line, and suddenly, I was pushed from behind. Wait, they might have the list now. There's a guy with a stick and a flute. Is it some kind of a flute? Is he some kind of a nature man? The tall guy with a shaved head promised the list. There's another guy, too. Oh, the UN. Totally corrupt. Here's the man with the stick. The walking stick. This is very authentic with the United Nations. Extremely authentic. They keep it real. These are the SDGs. I could tell Dan, but I don't have the heart to. I think he may be coming in this way. We'll see. We'll see. We remain here. Freedom of the press. Nope, I think he's going to go in another way. He's moving on. He's going in. I think we'll tell him. Why not? Why not? Let the UN know just how corrupt it's become. Mr. Game, I arrived here with a ticket to attend a free press event. I showed my driver's license. I was online, and then I was physically pushed out and told that I'm on a list banned from the UN. So I asked to see the list. They said, we'll show you the list when we push you outside, and they have not returned. The list is non-public. You can be put on a list with no hearing, no appeal, no roadmap, nothing. Something is pretty wrong. Something is quite wrong. I don't know. I would, if you could, I would at least ask How can that be? How can the UN, with any credibility, talk about freedom of the press? At this point, I'm just saying, give me the reason and show me how I could appeal or how long it lasts. Nothing. They won't. No. And now I can't even attend a free press event. So something, I think his official, he needs to hear, like, this is not good. It's an organization. It's not a one-man show. And I honestly, I just want to report on the UN. It's not like I want to get in and, like, he's not that interested. Anyway, thanks for hearing me out. That's what happened today. I was so hopeful when they said go in. I was like, great. I can't go to the briefing room. I can at least, like, go to this, event and live tweet it, and suddenly they grabbed me and pushed me out. Only person of thousands that have gone in, including many without passes at all. What danger do I pose to the UN? What exactly is the danger that I pose? I'm not sure. I've never been informed. Okay, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Oh, that's because yeah, and then you get a pass. Yes. Yes.
You're not telling me. You got a sentence in there. And you have something else. All right. I've got more things to cover as a journalist, but I find this particularly disgusting. And the UN counts on people just walking away so Antonio Guterres can continue to steal money and censor his enemies, but I don't intend to. There's the ambassador of Australia. The UN is such an ideal place where they put journalists on a ban list for no reason.
You know what? Go on this line. Go this line.
On the line?
Yeah, go in the line.
Are the
Yeah.
event is right now?
You have to still join the line. You can't take in everyone. You can take a couple of them. Not everyone.
No, but I am taking yes, she's taking.
Yeah, how you doing?
Who's the guy from the Media and Accreditation and Liaison Union? No comment, no comment. See, the whole thing is a joke. It has no credibility at all. They act like they're rules, but when the man says he doesn't like articles, they just put you on the list. This guy was heard at the stakeout saying he'll never get back in. Real rule of law. They pretend to take applications.
No, sí, el tema es no ver la cola.
You notice we haven't named any other officials. Many of them are corrupt and colluding, but we're sticking to the facts here. Antonio Guterres, totally corrupt. Totally corrupt. Could be a journalist. Crazy man. It's possible. It's possible. Of course, those hard questions. You could look at today's UN briefing and see what a joke the UN has become. Retiree, suitcases. But they have the... Retirees are not allowed to bring their suitcase in. A woman has a loaf of bread. That seems like a very UN thing to be bringing in. ERU. Sir. Okay, we've spoken to an ambassador. We've spoken to John James. These guys are cutting the line. No problem. Look, no problem at all. Rule of law. Of course, the real rule of law is where is this list? Here's the list that I was promised. For the record, I've followed each and every one of their rules. On the line, no filming. That's why I don't have it. All right, we're doing a little FaceTime. Those guys cut the line. Hey, just like the Human Rights Watch. Those guys are Rule of law, totally, 100%. Totally correct. So we're still waiting for this list, this magical list. That's what the man said. Right.
Okay, good.
That's okay. That lady works in food service. Of course, Guterres lays these people off at will and leaves them without cash, but that's just Guterres. He lives in a mansion, and the lower down you are on the UN poll, the worse he treats you. It's pretty bad. Pretty much every principle that the UN should stand for, this guy violates daily, on a daily basis. Oh, could they maybe come from Taiwan? Could this be their problem? You have to come from a UN member state. Something happened. Maybe their passport said Taiwan. Maybe. Oh no, they're coming out to see the retirees with the suitcases. These guys might be able to bring the suitcase in. Maybe they reached them. Well done, guys. Well done. This two-tier system is pretty bad. I don't know if it's the payment of cash, just raw opportunism. Wait, food is coming in, flyers. Sure, it's all for a very, very heady purpose. Just like there was, let's see, women in politics. They've got to get it scanned. Now, let's see, is the free press event over? Nope, it's still going on. So that's why we're here. Let's check it out. Could it be? Is this list coming out? Unclear. This gentleman works for the Department of Global Communications. He's paid public money to send tweets to 100 followers about the SDGs. He works for, well, we're just going with what visual observation today. Other than Guterres, who has corrupted the UN from top to bottom to conceal his financial failure to disclose. Bill banking. You got a box. Check it out. The UN, man. It's great. Got answers from the State Department, the IMF, covered the Manafort sentencing. Only at the UN do they say, if we don't like a question, we'll just beat you up. And we won't show you. Supposedly, I've been put on a list, but I've never been shown the list. Or even told the basis for being put on the list, or how many people are on the list, or how one gets off the list. It's a joke. Even terrorists that are put on the sanctions list, it was found that they have a right to appeal. But you have to be European. I'm just an American in the shadow of the U.S. mission. They love Big Tony. Mostly because he gives them what they want. He just sits in his mansion on his rumpus. All the P5 like him because he never criticizes them. China particularly likes him because he says the Belt and Road is pure UN. And it's under that rubric that Patrick Ho, the China Energy Fund Committee, paid bribes to Sam Kutesa, former PGA, Foreign Minister of Uganda, and attempted to give weapons to the Chadian President Idris Deby in exchange for oil contracts. All under the UN roof, protected by Antonio Guterres, who has business links to the group that offered the weapons. Must be impeached.
Yeah, you can, yeah. No, go ahead and come back.
No, she's coming out. She's coming out. She went in, now she's coming out. There's no list. Still waiting for the list. They said they'd show me the list of people banned from the UN. Still waiting. Absolutely disgusting. Is that hand-to-hand sales? Are we witnessing hand-to-hand sales here at the UN?
43rd Street.
Now, there was a UN staff member that was trying to sexually abuse a young boy in a hotel. I've asked them a question, but there's no answer. It's true. Immunity. Immunity is a great thing. Just like the peacekeepers. Never has so much goodwill been wasted for so little by one disgusting and corrupt individual. Well, the line just keeps on growing. $20 a head. Big Tony. Bring it on. Tony Tone. You never know. Let's call this the live stream. You never know who might be coming out of Big Tony, this house of corruption and mass killing. Let's not use the G word. Tony doesn't want to call it Cameroon a genocide. It's mass killing, and according to him, it doesn't really merit much. More important is him getting his focus reforms to the budget. Extremely important. You've seen a full shift. Grueling, absolutely grueling UN security. See, if they keep shifting the guards every 10 minutes, then no one will remember that they promised to give a lift. He's unfurling and he's going in. The UN will steal the soul of anyone that works there. Honestly, so corrupt. Let's see. See, they create a situation where they can't even be believed. Well, we'll get to that another time. Let the record reflect. I came to pay a bribe to Big Tony. Big Tony's in D.C. If you want to bribe Big Tony, you have to go to D.C. today. And then he'll be in Argentina with the South-South Cooperation, an organization that took Hang Thanks money, but at least it was audited. See, Antonio Guterres is the only one who doesn't even audit a corruption scandal because he's connected to it. Really. It's amazing. Let's check it out.
I don't know if you can maybe speak to your organization, but you can do it.
This is a very 1950s looking guy.
Go inside and try and talk to them.
Bull market. We call him bull market.
Across the street, the blue sign is here. Yeah. You get a couple.
He might have had his phone
Get
in
him past there and go inside and talk to them.
These are the head lawyers of the UN. They advise them on not paying a single penny to Haitians and on this due process. This guy is a lawyer. He's an international lawyer. Overseeing a system of total no due process. Shocking. But again, we're keeping it up to the top.
Is there a pass for him?
They told me I might have my two passports. This passport, my passport. This pass, I have this. And they just told me.
Can I see the pass you have? This side. Yeah, hopefully he'll come out in a minute then.
I'm just wondering about this list. Where this list might
should be not that long, but then again, it's CSW, so there's a lot of things going on.
CSW. Another hypocrisy fest.
Come on, Tanya, Gail, come on up.
Here comes a person from DBA. Again. When?
How are you?
I'm okay. I came with a ticket for an event.
And they didn't let you in?
No, they pushed me out and said they're going to I'm on a permanently banned list. I said, let me see the list. They
said, it's outrageous, man. That sucks.
It is outrageous, and nobody inside has done anything about it. So I'm raising it to you. Whatever you can say or do or ask about it, I guarantee you. I had a ticket. They took the ticket from me, but I'm happy to send it to you.
Okay, I'll go and ask.
It's an event about press freedom, women's empowerment, and digital media.
Okay. I'm gonna go on this.
Okay. Thanks so much. His cameraman is not in. Well, let's see. You never know what we might catch on this live stream. I think that's his crew. Okay, the other guy was the cameraman at the level 2. Wait, resident correspondents don't have to catch it?
Who is this that you have? This. Hello.
Huh?
Who is this?
No, this is my sister.
Okay. Yeah.
I like this story. I like this story. Again, our goal here, we really don't care about the vicissitudes, even the bribery of Guterres. But when you start banning journalists with no due process, you brought out a dog. The dog sniffed the equipment. Second. I'm still waiting for this list. They said that they have a list of banned individuals. That's what they say. So they say.
You guys found put that?
These guys are journalists. They're journalists, but what? Draw your own conclusions. Draw your own conclusions. Now, they said that the list, they couldn't show it because it was in the office. But where's the office? Nobody knows. Hello? The office is a long way away. Peter Drennen, is he working from home today? Anyway, we're not going to get bogged down. Antonio Guterres, he's corrupt. Right from the top. Maybe it lets these middle-level people off the hook, but we're not going to get lost. We're not going to get... Oh, we got another NGO lady. She's coming in. We got another bull market guy coming in. He's coming in. I'm sure that the Human Rights Watch guy is having a big impact inside. Huge. Enormous. You never know. Wait a second. You have people that come up this way and then they get shunted through this little stanchion. This is it. This is the United Nations, where they push a journalist out, promising to show it the list that it's on and why. But it was entirely a fraud. Wait, is it Ging? Is the Ginger coming out? Could be. Maybe the Ginger's gotten an answer. Is it true? It could be true. Ginger in, Ginger out. But there goes that hope. You got a box. Amazon. Whole Foods. Amazon Prime.
Okay, great. Come through. Do me a favor, before you come through, just I need to see your ID with the special event badge.
Yes.
Okay.
You go. I saw your
We'll see you guys inside, okay?
But I had the invitation to a special event. What happened? Lawless. Almost 2:30. The event is almost over. Actually, it is 2:30. Well, it's 2:30. This was the press freedom event. This was it. We got a guy with some bags of flowers. It's all happening right here at the United Nations. Totally correct.